Most unreturned deposits in Dubai are not being withheld. They are being ignored. The distinction matters because inertia responds to a documented demand, a letter that itemizes the amount, attaches the evidence, sets a response window, and names the next step. That letter recovers more deposits than any hearing does. Start with what a deposit legally is, because half of these disputes dissolve on the definition. Under Article 20 of the Tenancy Law, the security deposit exists to guarantee your maintenance obligations at the end of the tenancy, and it is refundable when you hand the property back in the condition the contract requires. It is not a tip. It is not a fee. And crucially, it does not cover fair wear and tear. Carpets flatten, paint dulls, hinges loosen. A property lived in for 2 years is supposed to look lived in for 2 years, and a repainting bill for ordinary use is not a deduction. It is the cost of being a landlord. The logic of these disputes is simple. The party keeping money for claimed damage should be able to show the damage and show its cost. A landlord who says deductions and produces neither photographs nor invoices is not making a claim. He is making a hope, which is why the single most valuable habit in this entire series costs nothing. Photographs that move in, photographs that move out. Dated, wide and close, sent by email so the timestamp lives somewhere neutral. The deposit dispute is usually decided the day you hand over the keys by whether that file exists. The handover itself deserves 5 deliberate minutes, because it is. The last moment the evidence is cheap. Push for a joint inspection. With the landlord or the agent, walk the rooms together and agree. The condition in writing, a 1-page checkout note by email, the same day does the job. Settle the utilities and keep the final clearances. An open bill is the easiest legitimate deduction there is, so clove it yourself, and never hand back the keys before the walkthrough is. Documented possession of the property is your only leverage over how its condition gets recorded, and it expires the moment the keys change hands. Now, the letter that works, because its structure is the point. First, the itemized number, deposit paid, deductions accepted if any are legitimate, balance demanded. Second, the evidence, attached, not described, the move-out photos, the handover email, the clean utility clearances. Third, a defined response window, 10 working days, is reasonable and reads as reasonable. Fourth, the next step, named plainly, if unanswered, the matter proceeds to the rental dispute center. No adjectives, no outrage. A landlord's advisor reading that letter sees a party who is organized, documented, and one step from filing, and inertia, faced with that, almost always pays. That is the step before you file, doing what it exists to do. Here is the honest arithmetic though, because deposits are where the numbers get small. A deposit is typically a single-digit percentage of annual rent, and the RDC's filing floor is a ED 500. On a 4,000 United Arab Emirates dirhams deposit with clean evidence, the center's own process, filing fee at the floor, your photographs doing the talking, may be the cheapest professional help in the market. And a structured attempt at AED 2,499 plus VAT is oversized for. The problem, that attempt is dispute.a's own product, so read this as advice. Against interest, if you bring us that file, the honest outcome. Recommendation will say exactly that, and episode 28 exists for you. Where the attempt earns its fee is the larger deposit. The contested deductions, the landlord who has gone quiet across borders, files where the position read, and the evidence check. Change the outcome, not just the paperwork. Either way, the sequence holds. Attempt structured resolution at a fixed cost. If resolution fails, file properly, deposit claims are. Bread and butter matters for the RDC, and a documented one moves cleanly. And if the file says the deposit was fairly spent on damage you genuinely cause, walk away, and know it beats pretending otherwise in front of a judge. The RDC decides disputes. Most disagreements don't need deciding, they need resolving. A deposit, most of the time, just needs asking for properly. Escalation is a decision, not a default. Next episode, maintenance. Who pays what the contract quietly moved on to you, and the one sentence that turns a strong claim into a weak defense.